Hi, I'm Bill Parsons from 9 Life Solutions. I'm here with Mark Donaghy today, and we're going to talk about the Roadworthy Communications Program. So, Mark, tell me, what do you think about the program, and how has it impacted the way your employees, drivers, operators communicate with your customers?
Well, I'll tell you what, communication is critical for any business.
Correct.
But, you know, I have to say that in my time, in almost 4 decades now in the business, I've seen it's changed so much. It's so much more critical today than it ever was, because we've got so many different things going on out there in the real world. We don't know anything from the mood of the customer to the dangers that might be out there as well.
Sure, absolutely.
So for me, you know, operating a business like this, my biggest concern is, you know, how do we kind of balance the needs of our customers and the needs, you know, for our employees to get good customer service, and at the same time
keep your employees safe,
maintain safe and secure environment.
Absolutely. So has Roadworthy Communications been effective in helping you do some of those things?
Oh my God, we've had drastic reductions in the number of customer complaints, which is huge.
That's excellent, sure.
And I think, you know, to some degree, I think we can have some credit. And I want to knock on some wood. I mean, you know, we used to have an issue occasionally with assaults on employees.
Right.
Those numbers, I think, have been nil for the past 2 years now. So there's got to be some credit there. And I think to some degree, how our employees handle situations
absolutely
may definitely impact whether or not we have a violent issue on a vehicle.
All right. So all in all, you would say it's been a positive impact on your organization, your employees.
Oh, hands down. And you know, when we find good training for people, and I think another good example is the one that we do called "So You Think This Is Easy," and it's the Access Center where people who actually have disabilities teach our employees to be a little more sensitive to the needs of that population. And I still have people every day that tell me, you know, I feel so bad about the way I acted before I had the training.
Right. Now they have an understanding. Sure, absolutely.
And this is the exact same thing.
Sure, understanding how people feel, what they're going through. Sure, and kind of building rapport with them and connecting with them.
And I've noticed, I see it in practice, especially with our transit ambassadors that I spend a lot of time with every day. I see it in the way they approach difficult situations, and I think, you know, we're getting a dividend for
Well, I know from the police standpoint, we used to have lots of issues where in the beginning they would exacerbate situations. The ambassadors would actually make them worse, and as a result of the communications training, we turned that around completely. They actually started to solve situations without even calling the police many times.
Absolutely.
Now, what have you, from the ground, I know, you know, being at the top of the organization, what have you heard from the, you know, your boots on the ground employees? I mean, what kind of, have you heard positive things? I know sometimes people grumble about going to training and these kinds of things, but then afterwards, I'm hearing some positive things.
You know, it's funny because I've heard everything from "Where'd you find that dude?" you know, to you know, what I typically hear is, "Wow, you know, we needed this. Wish we'd have had it 20 years ago."
Right, sure.
When I started. You hear that? We hear that a lot around.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Jim probably hears more than I do about it, but you know, just my interactions out here, people will go out of their way to let me know they've had the training.
Oh,
and, you know, we've been doing this a long time.
Right.
Now.
Yeah. We're almost 2 years now.
Or they'll say, "Was that your idea? You know, to bring Parsons in here?" And I'd say, "I wish it was." You know, I did authorize.
Right. So it's your idea.
But it's and you know, they know the difference. They're professionals too, and they know when they've had good training and they've had
absolutely
not so good training.
Because you know, when Sean and I go to different places, some of the other transit places, we get a little bit of resistance initially because I think the training they've had in the past has been kind of poorly thought out and just, well, we got to do some training, so we're going to do this. And so when we come in and when they're done, they're like, wow, that was so different than what we've gotten in the past.
Yeah, they're conditioned on the way in the door that, another boring couple hours of my life.
Yeah.
And then they leave refreshed, I would say.
One of the organizations we just got back from doing, the security director there who brought me in, got a lot of pushback from the union and from some of the employees. They were literally going, "Are you kidding me? 3 hours of training on a Saturday? Really?" And afterwards, one of the guys who was the most vocal about that came up to me and said, I could have listened all day. He said it was incredible. He said, he went up and apologized to the security director. Said, I'm sorry, you were right. It was worth my 3 hours.
Well, and I think that's the difference, you know, when you get good quality. It's like in school, you remember. You
get great teachers.
Exactly.
And the other ones.
And sometimes they're the hardest teachers.
Well, right, but they're the ones who have a passion for what it is they do.
When you feel the passion, you know.
And you can tell.
You're like, oh, okay, well, this is worth my time. And I understand everybody's issues with, hey, you know, I want my off time.
Right, sure.
And all of that. But I think that makes all the difference in the world. So it's been all positives for
Good,
us.
good.
And we're glad, that, more transit systems are picking up on the value of this because we all have the same problems. The
Oh, right.
faces and the names are different.
Absolutely, but it's the same
issues.
And
everywhere you
it's
go.
unique. Dealing with transit employees, one of the things that's been unique for me is they are very similar to training police employees. They have the same kind of because they experience so much of life, because they're out there every day dealing
Right.
with all kinds of diversity and all kinds of issues, they experience a lot of stuff. And then when they come in the door, they're a little jaded, a little crusty, a little calloused, and they realize there's nothing you can show me. I've seen it all, done it all. And then you come in with something saying, listen, I've been there too, and I'm telling you this will work. And they walk away going, these are some practical skills. So that is kind of fun to do. I like doing that.
And I think that's a value they get when they see that you can relate to what they do.
Sure.
I sat in a meeting this morning with a lot of our senior managers, and I had to remind them, I said, bus drivers are our point of sale. They deal with all of it firsthand. They deal with
Right.
all of our best ideas and our worst mistakes. They get to deal with that. They're
Right.
going to get the immediate feedback
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
from John
Sure.
Q. Public.
Right.
And it's not always fun.
Oh, no, they're going to, who came up with this stupid idea?
Right, exactly. I've had that myself, standing out here in our transit center one day and listening to this person say, "Are you that guy from Cincinnati that came here and ruined this place?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I am that
That's
guy.
me. You're right.
What can I do for you?"
And sometimes ideas in a sterile environment sound so brilliant, and then in application they just don't work. And that's why one of the things with roadworthy communication, I wanted to make sure they had practical skills,
Right.
not academic theory, not philosophy, just stuff they could actually apply almost immediately. And that's what I'm glad that it came out to be.
Well, and we see it, Bill. I mean, we see it, everything from their posture, how, when they're
Right.
involved in a conversation. I see it, especially in the ambassadors, and even some of the bus drivers will tell me, it worked for me.
Right, and see, once it works, okay, now you're bought in, you're in. Right, and that's really positive. I like that part a lot. When they come to me and go, it worked.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure and it worked, and now I'm a believer, and that's good.
Amen.